Hey, I'm Jiso and welcome back to some more Sifu. Today, we're going to be discussing, ranking the bosses of the game from weakest to hardest. And full disclosure, this is a result of my personal experience with the game, and I am open to disagreement. So feel free to let me know down in the comments what you think your list will be if you were to rank those bosses. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you like what you see or watch or hear. Let's go! The number one easiest boss in the game for me gotta be Shan. It's gotta be Shan because he is so easy to counter, it's unbelievable. He doesn't have much going for him. I mean, in the first phase, all he's going to be doing is hitting you up, and you can literally stay right there in his face and dodge everything he's doing because you're never concerned about what he's going to do because you know what he's going to do. It's just a matter of timing. Like fighting Shan, especially in his first phase, is just a matter of timing. The fact that he is so predictable implies he is going to be easily punishable. You can literally stay there, dodge, or even parry. Parrying works a lot against him too. You can stay right there in his face and wait for him to just do something, dodge it, and punish it. And even if he does hit you, he doesn't do a lot of damage. It's like you right there again. It doesn't matter. Eventually, you could use a weapon against him. It's the same thing, you either block or dodge. There is not much going on here, and this is why he's at the bottom of the list, because it's not a hard fight. Your first time around you get crushed because you are not very used to dodging, you are used to parrying and attacking, but this guy, he rewards you for dodging. That's all you have to do here, dodge low. That's all you have to do. After you do a lot of damage, he's going to transition into phase 2, and phase 2 is basically the same as phase 1. Here he may become more aggressive, and the real thing you should keep in mind that he goes for lows now, but not too often, and even when he does, it's not that big of a deal because he can't combo off it. You just find yourself on the ground and then you back up right back into the action. At some point in the fight, when you do enough damage, he will become enraged. And when he does, he's going to become way more aggressive, but it still doesn't matter because his movesets are pretty much the same, just faster. See, he's just the same, but faster. So you just have to adapt to that newly found speed and you will be fine. And that's why I think he belongs to the bottom of the ladder, because he doesn't have much going for him. He is easily punishable, and that's it. The damage input is very low too, so I'm sorry Shan, but you are going to be the easiest one. Bye bye. Coming up number 2 is going to be my man Fajar. And for some reason I still call him Jafar. Maybe it's because I watched too much Aladdin when I was a kid. I mean, I still watch it, so... Well, Fajar. Fajar is my second weakest boss because he has some moves. The first time you fight him, you're pretty new to the game, so you don't know much about, the fighting system, so you get demolished by this guy, but the more you play, the easier this guy becomes, but he still can surprise you because he can mix you up. Fajar has lows and highs and he can destroy you, plus he's using wisely his environment. He can jump around like a rabbit, he can push you, he can awkwardly stare at you. I don't understand why he does that sometimes. He just stops and look at you like he's like, you little shit. But as a first boss, he is still pretty manageable. He's just going to give you a hard time the first 2 runs, for your first 2 rounds, where he becomes easier the more you play. But also, he has a second phase which is very different. I mean, not too much, but he has new moves and he has a new weapon now. And there is some added value to the first phase. It's not like Shen, who has just one low. He has more moves. He can spawn bamboos on the field, which can stun you when you hit them. He can use those bamboos to just hide himself and surprise you with an attack. Like, there is some mechanics which went into second phase, not just a copy paste of the first one, and this is also why he is the second easiest for me. And also, I don't know why, but he is the only boss in the game which you can perform the combo focus attack on. He is the only one. Other bosses, you don't have the option to do that on them, but this one you can. I don't know why, maybe it has some significance for him, but I like patting him on the head from time to time. He is my man. So, Fajar. The second phase is pretty much the same as before. You just need to keep in mind that you cannot block his attack when he's using his blade because you're going to take chip damage. But he has pretty much the same moveset. He still uses his environment and bamboos to jump around. He can surprise you, and I like this fight. I like it better because it adds some more variety to the fighting system. And this is why he's ranked higher than Shen. Not because he hits harder, but because he has more moves. He's not as boring. He can definitely get demolished if you play seriously. He can just get wrecked. But the more you play, the more time you give him, the more he's going to surprise you and mix you up. And that's what I like about Fajar. He is my man. I like him. I just like him. Eventually you take him down and that's it. He's the very first boss, but he's not the easiest. Bye bye. Now hear me out. Coming up at number 3, it's Grandma Jinfeng. And if it was just up to me, I mean it is up to me, Jinfeng, the botanist, Fajar, and the underground king, Shan, they will all be equally weak. The reason why Grandma Jinfeng is weak is because you can just stay away from her and parry her. And parrying her weapon, for some reason, it does some damage to her. I don't know why they chose to do it like that, but yeah, in case you didn't know, just staying afar and parrying her is good enough to just destroy her. And the reason why this is very dull is because since she is staying away from you, it allows you to recover easier your posture when it does fill up. And she has like 3 moves in her first phase. It's like 2 ups and 1 down. She always goes for 2 ups and 1 down. She is very predictable. The one thing going for her is that she can hit pretty hard. When she does hit you, it's going to do a lot of damage. But as you can see, it's always up, up, and down. And she's going to just repeat it. But when you get close to her, she's going to back off, do this, and then she's back again to up, up, down. She is so predictable. Up, up, down, up, up, and down. In her second phase, she becomes essentially more diverse when you get close to her. But as long as you stay far, it's exactly the same process as phase 1. You just stay away and you parry her, and that's it, the fight is over. But when you do get close, that's when you see that she has more moves. She has this kind of windmill attack, and she always goes for a low when she hits you with the first 2 up attacks. Definitely something to keep in mind. But also she is very predictable because when you do get hit with an attack, you know she's going to go for a low. The only time she also goes for a low is when she has this weird combo she does when you get too close to her. But that's also the only time she will go for a low. So there's only 2 things you should worry about when you do get hit and when she starts that combo string. But other than that, she's easy. She's very easy to counter, and I believe she has the lowest health of the bunch because she's old. And just like you take more damage when you get older, she also does take more damage, which makes sense. But overall, as far as I'm concerned, all three of them, Shan, Jinfeng, and Fajar, they are equally bad. I mean, not bad as in bad design, but bad as in they're not challenging. And I also remember that by the first time around, I cruised through the fight. I died 3 times as compared to even Fajar or Shan. And that was crazy. I was like, there is no way this is the 4th boss, especially coming after Kuroki. But yeah, Grandma Jinfeng? Nah. Mr. After 8 years. Yes, coming out at number 4, and the second hardest boss of the game is Yang. My best friend and brother Yang. I love this fight. I love this guy, but Yang is easily. You just need one button to destroy Yang. That's your block button. You just sync and match his attacks, and you're going to parry him, and he's going to destroy himself. That's actually the funniest thing. He does hit really hard when he does hit you, but Yang rewards you for being patient. He will destroy you if you play aggressively, but once you just pace yourself and wait for him to do something and parry him, he becomes so much easier. It's not the easiest fight because he still has a rhythm and he can still mix you up with some lows, and he's pretty fast. And especially if you don't have your structure upgraded, you're going to have a harder time. But it's a fun fight. First of all, it's a fun fight. You just need one button and you get to avenge your father. The second phase is really where this fight shines, because now if you thought he was hitting hard, he hits harder, and he is way more aggressive and way more dynamic. He's dynamic because now he can read what you do and hit you low when you dodge too much. And when he does hit you, he has this combo where you get stunned, which is going to take almost every time half your health. But Crookfoot is the best thing you can do against this guy. That skill is busted because you spend most of your time parrying him. When you do parry him and use Crookfoot, he's going to find himself on the ground almost every time. I feel like that skill was designed especially for this fight, because it doesn't shine when you're surrounded by enemies and you don't get to be so up close and personal with other bosses. But Yang, given that you can't focus him, you can't use your focus attack on him, it means you are very close to him and you do parry him a lot. But be wary, he does hit like a truck. Don't stick too close to walls. He is amazing. He can destroy you in 2 combos. He is insane. But essentially, knowing how to parry him and dodging the proper moves and minding your structure is going to be all you need to defeat Yang. He is easily parryable, if that's a word, and it's also my favorite fight because it's so dynamic, it's so fast, and there is no break. I just love this guy, Mr. 8 years. Mademoiselle Kuroki. Yes, Kuroki is the hardest boss in the game. The first time you come here, you don't understand what is happening. You've just beaten Shan and you are pretty happy about yourself. Then you meet this girl and you don't understand what is happening. Are you bad? You're not bad. She's a complete different breed. She has those bladed weapons which you can't actually block against, because when you block against those, she's going to little by little destroy you with cheap damage, and good luck trying to understand her patterns. It's so messed up. By the time you actually get there, your brain is going to be so fried. So your first time around, Your strategy, especially if you don't have a weapon, is going to avoid her. The first time I came here, I was just running. I was waiting for her to end her combo so that I can do something. Like I get one hit and then I just go as far as possible as I can. And that's what I like about this fight and how it's so tough. She doesn't give you room to learn what she's doing. She's going to destroy you at every turn. Having a weapon in this fight is crucial if you can't properly dodge her. But even dodging her is not a viable strategy because you can still get mixed up, and that's what makes Kuroki so dangerous. She is lethal and she goes back often to reset. Like, you don't have much room to actually learn and hit her. When you do punish her, she just goes back and comes right back at you. And something to keep in mind is that the museum is a really hard level because you are coming up right after a fight with two long leg girls, and you probably died once or twice, so your count is already up. So you come here and you can easily get to age 65 or 75. And it doesn't stop there. It does not stop there because the second phase is a complete overhaul. Forget about everything you learned in her first phase. She drops everything. She just reveals her true self, her killer instinct, and she just, that boss is amazing because she's the only one in the game which has two very different, like completely different phases. She still has weapons you can't block against because you're going to take chip damage. She hurts a lot with her two. She has two really damaging moves she can pull, one when she's too far away and one at the end of a combo. But now you have more rooms to actually punish her because you can kind of predict when she's going to, she gets more predictable. And that's what I think it was done by design. But the fact that you already come from a very difficult phase 1 and you just have to relearn or forget about everything you just learned to counter her, it's amazing. And I don't think any boss in the game does it better than Kuroki. She is the boss who killed me the most in the game in my first playthrough. And I think she pushed me to age 66. And even today, when I'm attempting a speed run, she is the one I'm the most scared of, especially her first phase. I have her second phase pretty much downloaded, but the first one, it is still cancer. You can use her own kunais against her. If you have the skill to catch weapons thrown at you, you can do so, or you can keep it for yourself. And whenever you block using a weapon in this game, it negates the chip damage. So you can actually catch those kunais and use them to your advantage. And that's it. Kuroki is amazing. The whole level, the museum, it's very creative. There's some beautiful sceneries there, and the boss doesn't disappoint. And I believe she's also the most googled one when it comes to how to beat a boss in Sifu. I'm pretty sure she is the one giving people the hardest time, and I agree. She is tough. She hits hard. She can mix you up. She's unpredictable sometimes, and yeah, I love her. With that being said, it's time for you to die. I mean, I think I'm going to spare her. I believe I spared her because I was amazed by the amount of work which went into her. And thank you guys for watching. Let me know down below what you think your list would be and who actually gave you the hardest time in the game. And I'll see you around. Bye-bye. I just love this fight. It's amazing.